So Filseta comes from the word Falseta, which means to go or like to go away, right? So this is a holiday where Wednesday we were celebrating what? The going away of what? Of the Virgin Mary, right? So we spent 2 weeks prior to that in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Oh my!
Are you
Yeah,
guys okay?
like what? Why are you making?
Are you okay?
I understand something.
I'm having class. I don't know what's going on. We're recording this. So, in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church,
Not the
we
Coptic.
spent, not the Coptic,
Yes.
but in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, having a special connection with the Virgin Mary in order to remember everything that occurred during her Filseta and events leading up to it, right? So, like I said, admittedly, we should have had this class 3 weeks ago, but we're still going to talk about it because there's a lot of important things that we need to touch up on. Like, why is it a big deal? Like, we talk about the Virgin Mary, like this one American said, if we were able to test the blood of all Ethiopians, there's something in there that makes them say Saint Mary, Saint Mary. Right? He said it like in a way to like was condescending. We were like, yeah, what's your point? You know? So like if you guys like hear a lot of like, especially the older members, like Magite, you know? Like, so what's the big deal? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? And most importantly, why should I care about this fast, but the fast of the Virgin Mary, the Assumption, right? We call it this Assumption because she was assumed into the kingdom of heaven. What is it that makes it a big deal? And most importantly, we're gonna ask even a deeper question: why should I care about it? Me personally, 2,000 years later, what is it in it for me? Like, a lot of people have a hard time connecting with the Virgin Mary. Like, Christ is easy, right? Like, he died for me, got it. All right, Christ, Jesus, let's go, right? The Virgin Mary, like Jesus though, you know, like this is the Virgin Mary right here. I know, but like Jesus. So there's this thing within us, especially if you guys are like me, that it takes a little bit of time to really understand, to get the vision of the Virgin Mary in your head to say, I got a connection with her. I got this like this deep relationship with her. So we're gonna ask questions like, why is it a big deal? But most importantly, why should I care nearly 2,000 years later after her ascension, her death, her resurrection, and so on and so forth. So before we do that, first let's understand the history. What happened? What's the 2 weeks about? We spent 2 weeks doing Sa'atats. For those of you guys who've been to Sa'atats, right? Ooh, child. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but we spent 2 weeks doing Qadasi, 2 weeks doing Kidam, 2 weeks doing prayer, Su'ai, and what is it about? Like, what's the history behind it? Someone tell me the history. What do you guys know about it? So how many fasts are there in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church? 7, right? What's one of them?
This one.
This is Filseta.
This is one, right? Very good, man. How'd you know that?
You taught me that.
Alright, so Filseta. So why do we fast? Like, what's the fast about? What's the history behind it?
To find where the Virgin Mary's body is located.
Okay, very good. What else? So, like, back up. Too advanced. But what happened before talking about the body of the Virgin Mary? We're talking about a body, what it must have happened.
She died.
She must have died, right? She was a human being, right? Just like everybody when she died. And what happened when she died? Immediately, what transpired?
She,
What happened to the Jews? What did the Jews say?
let's take her body.
And do what?
Burn
it.
Burn it.
Oh,
Why do they? You're like, bury it. Burn it. Why do they want to burn it?
She
They
was the
wanted
mother of
to-
Jesus Christ.
And
They didn't want her to rise up.
Like her.
not resurrect, but
To
in short, they didn't want her body to cause commotion, right? So like the body of Jesus Christ, what was it doing? It was doing miracles. People were coming here. They were still talking about Jesus. They wanted Christianity to go away. So here's the Virgin Mary. Her body clearly was going to do some miracles, so let's burn it. So when they tried to burn it, what happened?
The angel came.
The angel came and cut off this guy's arm.
When he tried to touch it, right? Then they went, the disciples, they buried her body. They buried her body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Christ assumed her body. This is what we call the Assumption, right? She resurrected. And as she was resurrecting, what happened to Thomas?
Saw her on the way.
She saw her on the way, and then what happened?
She gave him.
The cloth.
Well, actually,
Cloth, which serves to?
I have a question. You said they buried her body,
Here, they buried the body.
but I thought that's afterward.
No. They buried the body, and then when they buried the body, she was assumed. So then Thomas, right? He was like, back in the day, they used to travel on clouds, right? As the teaching goes. And then so he saw her being assumed into the kingdom of heaven. So as they saw her being assumed into the kingdom of heaven, Thomas and Mary met. And then Thomas was like, I'm doubting Thomas. You know, like, you know who I am. Nobody's about to believe that I just saw the Virgin Mary. I need proof. And what did she gave her? She gave him
Piece of her cloth.
a piece of cloth. And then, like, what is that represented in today?
Oh, on the cross, it has a piece of.
If you guys see the cross deacon, whenever he holds the cross, what does he have on the bottom? He has a little piece of cloth to symbolize that, right?
But what's the meaning? But I never understood why.
I just told
I
you.
thought it was
So
questions.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah.
So I thought it was like, you know how when Jesus Christ was like in reality, like not like paintings. In reality, he was crucified like without any clothes.
That too. So there's multiple meanings.
Oh.
There's multiple meanings when see that I don't know. Very good question. So she was then she was assumed into heaven. Then Thomas was like, hey guys, how was your weekend? You know, like what you guys do? You know? They were like, oh, we were chilling. You know, the Virgin Mary died and all that. It was very sad. And they were like, you sure she's here? And they were like, yeah. Like, you sure? They're like, yeah. Let's go show me. So they went and they saw the body was empty. The tomb was empty. It's not the story of Jesus. It's the story of Mary. So they were like, whoa, the tomb's empty. Like, what's happening? So then he said, see this? This was the Virgin Mary's. She gave it to me as proof that she's here. Then what did they start doing? They started fasting. They fasted for 2 weeks to make sure that they got to see the body of Mary. Remember, according to them, giving somebody an honorary burial was a big thing. They're like, it's not fair. Like, Thomas got to see the body, we want to see too. So then, of course, they were taken into the kingdom of heaven. They were able to do liturgy in the kingdom of heaven in front of the Virgin Mary. Get this holy honor. And then they came back down. Because they fasted, their request was granted. Does that make sense? Let me stop here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is the story. This is the story. Yeah.
Where does the story like cut from like the January like Assumption to like the Filseta? Like where does it cut? Is it after?
What do you mean? Where does it cut?
Like we celebrate 2 holidays.
Yeah.
So where does the story cut? Like,
Let me get back to you. So this is the part I believe where they do the fast and like some intent is granted to them, like they're able to go into the kingdom of heaven and do kadase. The actual death isn't death, if I'm not mistaken.
They fasted. So they fasted twice. First, after she passed, what he mentioned happened, and then when the guy was trying to touch her body, his heart was cut, and then the angel came and assumed her body to the Garden of Eden. With whom? With John the Baptist. John the Gospel, right?
That's what. Yeah.
And then, because of that miracle happened, they didn't know what happened on the body of Virgin Mary. So they start fasting 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, then the angel brought her body and gave it to the apostles. And then by singing and by praise, they buried her. But then after the 3rd day, as her son, she assumed she resurrected.
But she already had resurrected. That resurrection only happened so that it can be shown to the apostles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So she's resurrected, but then now in the resurrection, what he mentioned happened to Thomas, and then he told them they couldn't find the body because it's resurrected. And now, first John was the only one who would know where she rested, her body rested. And now Thomas is the only one who knew that she was resurrected. So they say it again, they kind of left out from the whole mystery. So they fasted again 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, so it happened twice, but her body being like the Filseta, which is her body being muffless, we think of that on the now, like we still see. But it happened twice, and some say it's like a yearly, like it happened. If you read in the Talmud Ramanim, it happened. So the next year they fasted to see her body, to see her body, and then that's where like they're all spiritually assumed to the kingdom of heaven, and see Virgin Mary that she is resurrected, and then they did the whole liturgy, and that's the story.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Okay, sure. We can move on. So.
No, let's clear it up because the history is important. What part are you confused about?
The second fast, like utter or something, and then
So
John the Gospel.
the day that we celebrate the Virgin Mary fast is on the 3rd, which is in January.
Okay.
And then the Filseta we fast is now, and there is a time gap, and like that was his question: why are we fasting after all this time? Why we didn't fast at that time when she passed, so that to see her body? Because the story is when she passed at that time, her body is assumed by the angel, and she rests her body along with John the Gospel writer rested in the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
That's our church teaching. But then they couldn't figure out where her body's rested, so they fasted for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So by the way, just trivia, like Suwai means 7 days. They used to fast at least one Suwai, 1 7 day, or 2 7 days, 14 days, or 3. That's a church tradition. But then after that, after the 2 Suwais, the angel brought her body back for them so that they could bury it now.
Okay. Got it.
So they buried it because now there is no, a lot of Jews, making trouble and things like that. So they buried her, but the 3rd day again she resurrected.
Okay.
She resurrected in the state of the body that we will be resurrected at the end of days.
Okay.
That's what, like Christ, we would say Christ resurrected because of his divinity. We could say that because he's also God. But the other hope that we would get that for our resurrection is Virgin Mary, because Virgin Mary is not God, but she's resurrected in the state that we're going to be resurrected in the future. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
You say the 3 days. That's also similar to Christ 3 days, right? Because
What 3 days?
3 days, how they got her body on the Nahas 14,
Yeah.
and then but her Ergat is 16. That's only 2 days down.
Wait, what?
Makabara and Nahase 14 kone. Then her Ergat is Nahase 16. That's a 2 day, similar to the Christ thing. So is it kind of like a
that resurrection, like the whole thing is exactly similar to Christ. And we gotta define like how the Jews count the days to make it 3 days, but it's 3 days.
okay?
Yeah, we started class.
I think Hal got questions.
Can we start?
So there's a complicated history. I know. Yeah. So there's the story keeps going, and more and more the more you push through. Like where was her body? It's like all this stuff, and you can talk about it. So like the story keeps going and going and going and going. So but the main thing is, for 2 weeks they prayed, they got their body, and she was resurrected. That's the part that I want you guys to kind of concentrate on, right? Her body was gone. She died. They prayed. They got the body, and she was resurrected. Now, this is the history, so let's start class. Question is, how do we celebrate? Again, why is that important, right? Like, it's nice to get the knowledge. Like we could talk about like all this stuff and whatnot, but like, why is that important? So, and I think this is where we should focus on, because this holiday or the 2 weeks was time to commemorate what the disciples wanted to see. And what they wanted to see was, they wanted to see the Mother of God. Why should I care? Why should we care? Because she's the Mother of God. That's why. Like, this is the time for us, remember, like celebration, when we celebrate, we don't just say the disciples fasted for 2 weeks to see the Mother of God again. We are part of we are the disciples, right? As we're fasting along. So this fast, the 2 weeks that passed, the Filseta time, is an opportunity for us to be like the disciples and then think of that mindset and actually be fasting in a way so that we can also meet the Mother of God. So at the end of it, like if we celebrate it correctly, like I said, this class should have happened 3 weeks ago. But if we celebrate it correctly, we should have also met the Mother of God. If you're not excited about that, then something wrong. Why? Because it's enough. Like, I don't need to say anything else. I should be excited that I'm meeting the Mother of God. Nothing else. I don't need anything. No other like additions. No other explanations. Nothing. If I get a chance to meet Christ, I should be happy. I don't need to explain that, right? Like if I say today you're meeting Christ, you should be jumping up and down for joy. And the same way I say you're meeting his mother, you should be excited. I don't need to say anything else. Let me give you guys an example. This weekend was a good weekend for me. You know why? Mommy and Daddy came home. It was amazing. Oh, they were here. Yesterday, I was hanging out with them. I made them buy me food. I made them take me out places. I was like, Mommy, right? She was here. Like, everybody loves their mom, right? Like, why do you guys love your mom? Nothing else, because she's your mom. Like, nothing else, right? You don't need an explanation. You don't need to explain, like, I love my mom because A, B, C, this, that, this. The only thing that you need to know is she is your mother, so you love her. Same, I was like, Mom, I love you. Why? Because she's my mom. In addition to that, she bought me food. Like, so it's good, and I'm glad that she came, and that would have been enough for me to be happy. The fact that I got to see my mom after so many months, it's enough for me to be happy. But the fact that she bought me food, the fact that she came and she gave me like extra spices to put, thinking I was gonna cook, but like she still bought the spices, that's enough for me. I don't need, like, that's like extra happiness, right? So like I hugged my dad for 30 seconds, I hugged my mom for 32. Because it was the food, right? So like it's enough that they came, but that extra food is like the extra reason like I get to hold my mom a little bit more, right? Same way, when you think about the Virgin Mary, you don't need like extra things. The Mother of God is enough. But she gave you food. And the food is more important than her. The food she gave you is eternal life. Like you love your mom. But imagine the days that like she eat a home cooked meal, right? Like you love your mom just a little bit more, right? Just a little bit more. But this time, we love the Mother of God because she's the Mother of God. But she gave you eternal life. She gave you eternal food. Wow. That's enough to get us excited to see the Virgin Mary. That's enough to say, I want her now. That's enough to say, like, I can't wait. I can't wait for the 2 weeks because that's the time that we're spending to be with her. That's what the 2 weeks is about. Second, why do we love the Virgin Mary? Why do we care? Why should we like yearn to see her? It's because she played an active role in salvation. Think about how we feel about Christ. Like Christ died for me. Wow, that's amazing. He was on the cross for me. Like he took all my sins. He forgave me when I wasn't worthy. But it was the Virgin Mary that said, let it be done. She played an active role. She was willing. Like when the angel Gabriel came and said, you're going to have a child. You're going to have a child. She argued with him. She said, but I'm a virgin. you're gonna have a child. Eventually, she said, you can let it happen. She agreed. To start the process of salvation, it was her who said, start it now, begin. That was her words that started the salvation story to begin. It was she's responsible. For that, I'm indebted, and I can't wait until I see her. She played an active role, and I think that's enough also, just to say thank you. We should also be excited, because not only she's the mother of God, but she is also our mother. Our mother. On the cross, Christ said 7 things, right? 7 things. What was one of the 7 things he said? He said it to John.
This is
This is your mother.
This is your mother. Right? This is your mother. John was standing there representing mankind. And he said, this is your mother, this is your son. At that moment, the Virgin Mary became our mother. So think about a mother. Like, think about your mother. Think about the things that she does. Think about how she worries about you. Think of the reasons why you love your mother. That's what the Virgin Mary did. After the resurrection of Christ, it wasn't like the Virgin Mary was like, whoop, okay, we're done, let's go home. She spent her entire life praying for us. Praying to her son, saying, please forgive them. Yeah, they're not worthy, but please forgive them. Doing the act of a mother. Taking her time to worry. Instead of sleeping and taking care of her life and saying, okay, well, I was in this business for a while now. She's like, 48 at the time? So at 48, she could have done so many things. Let me travel now, like I raised Jesus since I was 15. Now my job is done. So let me see the world. That's not what she did. She spent her rest of her life. She's holy. She didn't have to pray. She didn't have to pray. She's holy. But she spent her time praying for us. Making sure that her son forgives us. That is intercession. Like, you spend the rest of it, like, imagine how, like, when somebody holds the door open for you. Thank you. Right? If somebody does something a little bit hard, like, let's say they buy you lunch, how do you thank them?
He didn't think of them.
Right? If somebody does something, anything, right? Like, think about how you thank them. Like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I really, like, thank you. But she was praying for your eternal life. For your, like, the kingdom of heaven. So that you may inherit it. Like a mother does. She was worried about us like a mother. For that, we are thankful. For that, we are indebted for that. The most importantly, because she listens. If we gather all the people who have asked the Virgin Mary for something, and then we line them up here, how many of them, like, do you think we could get from people to say, the Virgin Mary did this for me? I've asked the Virgin Mary this. I've asked her to do this for me, and she's completed it for me. How many people do we have? We have a lot of people who could swear that because of her intercession, because they've asked her to do something for us, she's done it. She's like Santa Claus, like the spiritual version of the female, There was a lot of things I had to change. But she's like, whatever we ask, because she's like a grandmother, right? So, like, for example, in my brother's case, my brother and his wife, they're very strict on the kid, right? Like, Lucas is like, Lucas, he jumps on the chair. My brother's like, yeah, stop, stop. My parents go up there and he chops. They love him. Like, they spoil him, right? That's the job of the Virgin Mary. She spoils us. Like, whatever we want, come on, let them have. Let them have. She spoils us. Think about how many things we've prayed about. Like, if you have, ask the Virgin Mary, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get this? Of course. For that, we should be excited. That we're going to be able to see the Virgin Mary at the end. So here's the thing. During Filseta, even though it's 2 weeks, is equivalent to like Mother's Day with a twist, right? So what happens on Mother's Day? Mother's Day is the day where you're like, the whole year, like, you were a mother to us, you gave us this, you gave us this. So this is the time where we commemorate you and we give you gifts, right? That's what happens on Mother's Day. Like whatever the mother wants, she gets. But on Filseta, it's the same thing as Mother's Day, but instead of us giving her gifts, she gives us more gifts. This is the time where you get to go to the Virgin Mary and say, you know what, you've done all this stuff for me throughout the year, but I want more.
No Black Friday.
That's the same idea, right? Black Friday. So it's like, I want more and more and more, and I want it now. That's the time. Isn't it amazing? Like, she's done all this for us. We can't count the amount of things. As a mother, she cares for us. She thinks for us. She prays for us, right? Throughout the year. But these 2 weeks are dedicated for us to specifically ask the Virgin Mary anything we want. That's amazing. That's amazing. Because it should be like reversed. But the second thing we get to do is, this person that we just talked about, the Virgin Mary, who played a role for salvation, who is the mother of God, who is our mother, who cares for us, who thinks for us. This is the time for us to think about her, to spend time with her like we do on Mother's Day. Just to spend time with her. Like we spend time with Christ, like we spend time with God, we take time to spend time with the Mother of God. And now, as we think about that, I want to take you guys over to something called Sa'atat, right? And this prayer that's usually done, again, this class should have been 3 weeks ago. But during Filseta, there's like in the evenings, some prayer called Sa'atat. For those of you guys who don't know Sa'atat, it's like a short prayer that's done. It's just a small prayer. That's done. And it's time where we get to spend time with the Virgin Mary. Now, there's different parts of Sa'atat that we can't like possibly go through. But one of my favorite parts people know is Ni'i, right? So the word is, the lyrics is Ni'i Havea, come towards me, O Dinigid, O the Virgin Mary, come towards me. Like I want to see you now, my mother, right? With your son, Jesus Christ, with your beloved son, Jesus Christ. Why? Because the Virgin Mary is important to me, because she's the mother of God. So I want Jesus with her. I want you come into Bariki, so you can bless me, so you can give me the gifts that I know you can give me, and that you've given me throughout the year. I want more gifts. Come towards me. So that you can bless us with even more gifts and more joyful things. This is the time where we take our time and our energy to spend time with the Virgin Mary. With the Virgin Mary. So as we said this, and now that you know the lyrics, just listen to this part. Forgetting the theology. We can do the theology, but forget about it. Just listen and let your soul be elevated to the kingdom of heaven and try to witness and see and visualize the Virgin Mary surrounded by the angels, surrounded by the Holy Trinity. Like there in that glory, imagine her. And this is what Sa'atat is about. Just listen to it.
Who's that?
You guys see the video?
That's beautiful.
The guy's crying as he's chanting this. Anytime anytime you get into it, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. When you begin to understand exactly what this worship is about, it takes time. It requires you fighting with your fleshly desires, right? It requires waking up late at night and coming. It requires like getting this like feeling inside of you to get to know the Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, the one who did this for us. And when you listen to this, you can see her. You can see her next to Christ. You can see her coming towards you with her beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Nothing else matters. And I'll tell you guys this and I'll stop. The first time I did Saatats, you remember, it was nearly like 7-8 years ago. A buddy of mine, and this is why I always joke about this, is because a buddy of mine said, hey, come, there's a short prayer. So, that's how I got half of the people to come.
I was like,
So I went, and I remember, so those of you guys who don't know my story is, back in college, I was struggling trying to figure out like who God is, what like Orthodox is about, what church is, like I was confused. I was going through this journey trying to figure out everything. So I remember, so I went to this short prayer. I'm standing there, I'm like, all right, it's been an hour. 2 hours, come on, man. Like 3 hours, that's officially Kadasi. Like, we gotta go home. And I was tired. Like, you gotta understand, like, before you go to Kadasi, you gotta have a big cup of coffee and like, you know the routine, right? Like, there's a lot, you gotta sleep beforehand and all this stuff. So I had this Mekwame, I remember, and I'm like, right? And I'm like falling asleep, and I remember thinking, man, I feel like I'm in heaven. Like, I'm exhausted, but I felt like I'm in heaven. And I was like, yo, I don't know about Orthodoxy, I don't know about like whatever. At the end of the day, whatever I turn out to be, I'll always come to Saatats. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care, I'm not leaving this, right? Because when you hear this angelic voice and you come to Mane, then it's a different story, right? Like, as a Hibret, when everybody's praying together, literally nothing in the world matters. Whatever issue, whatever stress, whatever problems you're having. Why? Because you know at the end of it, our mother is coming. The same thing. Like when you're in a hot mess, hot problem, and your mom says, I got this. Don't worry. Everything will be okay. Sometimes that's all you need to hear. And all your problems go away. And it's the same thing that happens at the end of the Too Fast. I know it's at the end of it, but hopefully we can recharge throughout the year, and next year we can go into it with full force.